Welcome all you prisoners out there, I'm Deuce Disney coming at you with another chapter review of One Piece. This time it's chapter 935 titled Queen! Seems to be spelt with all caps, so it's just like, Queen! But I wonder if it's more of a Yas Queen kind of saying, you never know. But I feel like this chapter kind of gives us a definitive answer to a lot of things about Queen in the same instance. But first, let's talk about that cover page very briefly, which is a request made by Nakahamarichi of mice putting out smoker cigars because they've mistaken it as a fire. So it's just weird little cute things, and I love that Oda goes along with this. But we open up at the Udon prison where we see that, one of the mistakes that I feel that wasn't really made clear, at least to me at first, was that there are actually several more head jailers than what we actually saw initially. Like the hippo dude who got taken out. Because we see that one of them, called Solitaire, keeping up with the playing card theme, is apparently berating some of her guards who are in charge of keeping the keys to the Kuroseki, or the Sea Prism Stone handcuffs, safe, because apparently some guy with a giant face said he was going to put the fake key in the safe, and as soon as the dude opened it up, dude bounced, and it's just like, and I love Solitaire's reaction because it's just like, you're fucking fired. You're goddamn fired. Like, yeah, got fooled by something so absolutely stupid. So Solitaire sends her men running after these guys. And one thing I gotta mention about Solitaire's look, she has the monkey smile, which, okay, that seems about right. She has a monkey tail, okay. But then she has a total of 6 arms for some reason. And it's just like, how does monkey incorporate into 6 friggin' arms? Like, a double set of arms, maybe, just maybe, because, we get weird things with the smile fruit. That's all well and good. But 6 arms? What? What even is this? So, she's got a cool design though. I ain't mad at it. I like to see a little bit more of her. But as it turns out, Raizo is a stupid incredible ninja, because he's just rushing through the prison at such blinding speeds, I guess, that no one sees him. Because he's just bam, 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 bam through this hallway, and nobody catches sight of him. So Raizo, of the Mist, has managed to gain the key for the handcuffs to free Luffy. But we ultimately end up seeing that Luffy is in a whole nother set of trouble. Because, if you've been reading up to this point, you know that the constantly repeated rules of Udon Prison is that anyone who, for their first offense, one of the prisoners will have both their arms cut off. Second offense, you lose both of your legs. Third, you get executed. But should you lay a hand on any one of the jailers, death sentence. You're done. And after Luffy kicks Daifugo with the scorpion smile, a lot of people saying, oh, it's just like, oh, that proves that Queen doesn't have the scorpion devil fruit. No, that proves that Queen does not have the scorpion smile devil fruit. Keep that in mind. And this guy with his freaking 6 legs, like, that's just weird. That's weird to see. Like, multiple arms, that's one thing. Multiple legs, that's weird. But Luffy knocks Daifugo on his ass, the deputy head jailer, and then, all the guards just say, well, death sentence. They put their thumbs down and just death penalty, death penalty, death penalty. They are crying out for Luffy's head at this point. and all the prisoners are just like, oh no, Luffy, man, Luffy Taro, I liked you too, but this is the end for him and old man Hio and all that good stuff. And like even Hio's just resigned himself to death, and Luffy's just like, man, why are you why are you talking like it's all over, boss? We're gonna get out of here. So ever the optimist Luffy. But Fugo gets up, and gets told by one of the other guards, it's just like, dude, what the hell? This, the Sea Prism Stone handcuffs give the, Devil Fruit users just enough wherewithal and range of movement to do manual labor. They should only be able to move to a minimal degree. And at first, Fugo's just like, are you saying that I'm weaker than a restrained Devil Fruit user? But no, this guy is suggesting that Luffy's just that strong. So they're trying to not underplay, some of the Smile users and some of that stuff, but, Luffy's defeated plenty of Smile users at this point. But in comes, apparently, the head jailer, which I'm just like, cause it's been so stupid hard to keep up with who's actually in charge here, cause we're just called head jailer this, head jailer that, this jailer, that jailer, this jailer, so it's just like, who's actually in charge of all this? But in comes the true, lead head jailer, Babanuki, who I love his name, and we saw him a little bit in last chapter where his head was in silhouette, because he's the guy with the elephant sticking out of his chest, and he is just like, yeah, you're done. But Luffy notes that the fact that, what a lot of people have been saying, that, going at all this menial labor with his powers restrained and all that good stuff, and in this weakened state, it's actually caused him to feel like, once I get out of these cuffs, I should be at least a little bit stronger. So that's adding to the theory that, with this would serve as a bit of training for Luffy in order for him to actually be, at least maybe full-on Katakuri level, because let's face it, Luffy was not one-to-one with Katakuri when they fight, but at least now with a little bit of training in, he might actually have been it might have been a more even fight. And considering that a lot of the commanders in Kaido's army are shown to be at least, Katakuri level or a little bit above, that should make things a little bit more even with Luffy once he actually goes toe-to-toe with one of them. But, Babanuki comes in and he sends out his elephant sneeze, where the elephant on his chest sends out this, massive explosive sneeze. I don't even know how this works, but it fucks up Luffy. At least, kinda, for the most part. He's not dead, he's just a little injured. And he notes the fact that he can't use Haki because of the cuffs. So, Luffy, for the most part, is kind of captured, but as soon as Babanuki hears that Queen is entering, he just kind of goes off to, greet Queen. Queen, meanwhile, is, fawning over a picture of Komurasaki, and just like, yeah, I'll go to the red light district and hit my girl up, yeah! And he goes out to greet everyone in the jail, and some of the people with Queen are just like, we think we should tell him about the fact that Komurasaki was cut down. Like, you tell him if you want to, I'm not telling him. And Queen comes out, and I immediately loved Queen in this chapter because of this and another thing that comes up, soon, where Queen comes out on stage and just starts singing. It's like, if I slim down, I'll be too popular. So so I'm the type who deliberately stays chubby. That's my funk. That's my funk. He's just like, it looks like he's just doing the Running Man, or like that move, if you've ever seen Dee Dee from Dexter's Laboratory, just that, doing that Running Man motion and all that good stuff. And I think he's flanked by Sheep's Head and Jim Rummy, I'm not sure, and they're just all dancing on stage and having fun, and I'm just like, man, this guy is just loads of fun. Immediately makes me think that he would be a great showdown with Frankie. But everyone in the crowd is cheering, they're eating it up and all that. And we see Queen's bounty finally, which is 1.3 billion berries. So it's just like, he is above Jack, he's above Katakuri, all this good stuff. So Queen is obviously not playing around here, and I think he's just a little bit below Blackbeard, who I think is 1.5. I have to double check that, but Queen is definitely a force to be reckoned with. And we get to my second favorite part, which is Queen sitting down and being like, okay guys, lay it on me, what's troubling you, Babanuki? And Babanuki just tells him, not even missing a beat, and it's just like, okay, so problem number 3, uses Kid Escape. And Queen just does this like bulging eyes like, what? What's number 2? And Babanuki's just like, well, the key for the sea stone handcuffs has been stolen. And Queen freaks out in the exact same manner, just a little bit more. It's just like, what? What's number 1? Well, Straw Hat Luffy is currently on the run, and you see Luffy just kind of jumping, trying to get out of the prison. And Queen's just like, what? They go after him, you idiots! Oh my god, I died seeing this. This was an amazing little bit of comedy that I just feel hasn't been shown that often in this series, but it was hilarious. Oh my god, I ate this moment all up, and that was in the first few pages. Like, we ain't even hit page 10 yet, I think, where we see in Ebisu Town, Frankie, Usopp, and Law are meeting up with the dude that was traveling with Zoro, the taiko drummer dude, and talking about, just like everyone in this town, he's making these morbid jokes about, if you want a house, you can have any one you want, these houses are empty because so many people have died from starvation, yo. Frankie's just completely down on that comment. It's just like, why are you laughing about that, bro? But he mentions that Zoro apparently had one of his swords stolen, and Zoro went chasing after the thief, and they haven't seen him since. So everyone's just like, that means he got lost again. So once again, Zoro has gone missing. But notice, Sanji is nowhere to be seen in that scene. So Sanji might be off in our next stop, the women's bath, or specifically the public bath, as we see Shinobu, Robin, and Nami just having a little bit of a soak, and with Robin being very, very cautious about her surroundings. They're still in the capital, they're wanted people after everything that went down in the palace. She's not certain, especially since if she were to fully submerge herself, she would be weakened, as Shinobu notes. But Shinobu says that their enemies will not come there. Meanwhile, Nami has a bit of another issue, which is specifically wondering if she should charge a fee to all the men gawking at her naked form. And this is where it's sprung up that this is a mixed bath. So, Sanji doesn't even need to try to, go invisible to sneak in. He just walk right in like it's no big deal. So I love this, but Shinobu's just like, well, they're all just memorized by my form, and one person calls out of the way, Granny, and she pulls out her ninja art, Ball Crusher. Oof, direct flesh-to-flesh contact right there. But then over here, some people talking about, how, Kyoshiro and how barbaric he was for the cut down of Komurasaki, and it's an old man and a young, and I think it was the carpenter that Frankie had apprenticed with. And he notes that, back in the old days, when old man Hio was in charge, or, what was the full name? Hyogoro? Hyogoro. There we go. I couldn't pronounce it for a second there. When Hyogoro was in charge of the underworld, he was respected, and Shinobu elaborates a little bit more on this, saying, he ran the underworld, and he was Yakuza, but people had a great deal of respect. Very much like gangsters were seen back in the days of old. They did things against the rule because, there were a lot of unfair laws. They did shadowy things that went against the rules, and, they did a lot of shady stuff for good reasons, to help out the poor, their families, people close to them for the most part, in order to, help out with any kind of inequality they saw going around. And a lot of the young of that age idolized him to a certain degree, and we get this depiction of Hyogoro when he was, big and buff and manly, man. He was a manly man. But, they said with him, it would have been easy to fight 5,000 men and not the measly 500 that they have right now for the revolution. So that's just showing how much influence Old Man Hyo will have should Luffy manage to help get him out of the prison. But it's rumored that apparently Hyogoro was executed on the day that, on the day that Orochi took over and the Koizumi clan, took over, Hyogoro did not swear fealty, so he was apparently slain, whereas Fukujiro, the head of the Oniwaban that we saw earlier, actually did defect, so he was also part of the previous regime, but he turned over with the Oniwaban group, and Shinobu also defected therein. And Nami notes that's why Hanzo noticed her previously, because she was a previous member of the Oniwaban group. But, now Hyogoro is mentioned as nothing more than a legend, and Shinobu, who has been on the run ever since. So very interesting moments, very interesting stuff in all of that. And then we start to get to the conclusion of our chapter with Raizo arriving much too late, as Luffy and Hyogoro have been brought before Queen, and Queen is still trying to get Luffy to pledge his fealty to Kaido, and Luffy of course is like, yes, shut up, ain't gonna happen. And Queen notes that it's just like, old man Hyogoro, this brings me back when Kaido and Orochi tried pretty much everything to get you on their side, and you just refused, and look at you now, a tiny malnourished old man. And all the prisoners are just like, wait, that was Hyogoro? Jesus Christ. But Hyogoro mentions just like, do what you want with me, I'm pointless, but spare this young man, that is all I ask. But ultimately Queen has decided something new to do with the rest of the prisoners, so we'll find that out later down the line. Meanwhile, we cut to Raizo, who is hiding behind something, and it's near the prison bars that we had seen earlier for this unknown person. And this person identifies themselves as Kawamatsu, an ally of Raizo and the Nine Red Scabbards from decades past, who has not seen Raizo in years and wonders if Lord Momosuke is safe. So, that's who is in that other jail cell. We'll find that out at some point eventually. But so much is just happening. I love the fact that Sanji wouldn't even need his cloak of invisibility basically anymore. It's just like, just go right on in. Not to mention the octopus in the bathhouse that scrubbed Nami and Robin and Shinobu's back. It's just like, you can get some intense situations from all of that. But man, I love these Smile Devil fruits because it creates the wackiest, absolute wackiest looks. Just like, I have an elephant in my chest, I have a lion in my stomach, I have multiple arms, I have multiple legs, my lower butt is a hippo. Like, it's the weirdest stuff out there. It is so weird. But I also love the fact that Oda has addressed that yes, Luffy is soon to grow stronger from his time in prison, but it's just so funny because Luffy didn't gain that kind of strength when he was in Impel Down, which makes this place seem like nothing, but at the same time, it's providing even greater training to Luffy than any of that. Hell, the only thing that Luffy got from his time in Impel Down was more of an immunity to poison, as it were. But I also I continue to love the Wano imagery, all the classic Japanese references and imagery, and how the characters are even drawn in classical Japanese styles and all that good stuff. It's just so interesting, and it makes you wonder what Queen's gonna do and how Luffy will overcome it at this point, because obviously Luffy has just come such a long way. But I'm still thinking about that bathhouse, man. I would love to have been there. Just so great, so great. But Luffy's luck will definitely pull through. Come on, meeting someone who had damn near just as much influence as Oden, Luffy's luck continues to be the most outrageous thing in all of this series, with talking animal people and animal mixture people and all this weird stuff. But good times. I love this chapter. But hey, enough of my rambling. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What was your favorite part, and what do you think will happen next chapter? With Luffy and Old Man Hio, will Raizo manage to unleash his brethren and rejoin the 9 Red Scabbards? Or will the Queen's machinations bring Luffy low? All that overly dramatic bullshit. And what will happen to Zoro now that he's chasing after someone who apparently managed to get the drop on him and steal his sword? And where's Sanji? The woman's bath. We know it's the woman's bath, but still, dramatic tension and all that good stuff. But again, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, your thoughts and theories. And if you liked this video, feel free to leave me a like. And if you didn't, because I know I ran pretty long and babbled a lot, but feel free to leave me a dislike. And hey, tell me what I did wrong in the comment section below so that I might better myself for future videos. But until then, feel free to also subscribe, because I will definitely be bringing you more chapter reviews of One Piece. If you ain't got locked up by then, you never know what the future holds. But until then, farewell. Yo yo!